Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. My sister, 27 female, and I, 32 female, got along fairly well when we were younger. She did a wild child stint from 16 to 22, where she ran around with a few ex-boyfriends. So she never got a college education, but she married someone who makes enough for her to be a stay-at-home mom with their son. I know because they pay rent, they have not been able to save up enough to afford a house. My husband and I do not have children yet, as we spend our 20s getting our education and a career. I am a nurse anesthetist, and my husband just accepted a GYN oncologist position. He has some crazy student loans to pay, and I still have some, but thankfully less. We just put a successful bid on a house, and I announced it to my family thinking they would be happy for me. I guess they were, but immediately after, my sister asked me to help them afford their down payment. I told her we have a lot of student loans and this house is mortgage to pay, and we aren't in a position to help. She complained to our mom, who told me that I'm in a much better position, and therefore I should be helping. I told her while my sister had the freedom to enjoy life in her younger years, I was studying and working on my career. I would have loved that freedom, but I chose a different path, and I'm finally starting to benefit off it. It's not fair that now that my husband's and mine's work has translated to financial success, it's now expected I start helping everyone else who got to enjoy their life. She got mad and said I'm her sister, and so her success is my success, and I'm obligated to help. I've been ignoring them both. But am I the a-hole for not helping my sister? It is OP's and her husband's money, and they are allowed to do whatever they want with it. No one is entitled to it, and OP is not obligated to help her and her husband buy a house. Their finances are their problem, not OP's. OP should tell her mother that if she feels family is obligated to help, that she can pay off OP's student loans, and then OP will be able to save money to help her sister. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Fuzzy Mom 2005 says, "Not the a-hole. No one is entitled to your money. You and your husband worked for it. Your sister and her husband will have to wait a while until they can afford their own. Your mom can empty her savings and help your sister. Guess who won't help mom later on, though? Sis." Tempting Penguin says, "Not the a-hole. Your mother should help her if she thinks your sister deserves help." Prismal Pink Gaming says, "Not the a-hole. You don't owe her anything. She's a spoiled and entitled grown woman who should be working to support herself." Okay, so the key players in this story are me, female 27, my husband Kiram, 40, and my little sister Tasha, 13, and my mom, 58. For context, my mom and dad had Tasha as a last resort to fix their failing marriage. I'm nearly 9 months pregnant, like legit 3 weeks out, and my husband is a second-generation immigrant. We weren't trying, but we were excited when we found out about the baby. We waited until we were out of the first trimester and told everyone after that. Kiram's family are super excited and can't wait to bring the baby to their home country. My mom was happy when we told her, but made some grumbling remarks about being too young to be a grandma. I presumed she was joking. My dad we told separately. He gets on great with my husband, and he said he would help Kiram and I with anything baby-related. At first, Tasha was excited, talking about how she's the youngest auntie and it was cute. She is spoiled. I don't want to call her a brat, but she can get an attitude when things don't happen how she wants. But when once we told everyone we were having a girl, she went quiet. We didn't do a big announcement, just told people when we saw them. We both have busy jobs, and I kept working until recently. Luckily, I can work remotely if needed. My dad was excited to be a girl granddad. In some ways, I've been closer with him after the divorce. My mom put all her effort into Tasha and making sure she was okay, as she was the youngest. She's a bit of a golden child for my mom. Kiram's family got him a t-shirt that has a joke about being a girl dad on it. I've always said he gives off girl dad energy, so it's funny. When I got big, around the 5-month mark, I was really ill. I had hyperemesis gravidarum and was admitted to the hospital. I have a heart condition, so there was always a worry about side effects during the pregnancy. Tasha refused to visit me in the hospital, meaning my mom didn't come either, but I understood why a 13-year-old might not want to come to a hospital. However, she has become so standoffish and rude to myself and my husband. scoffing when we talk about baby girl, joking about how emotional I was, saying it's more trouble than it's worth with my heart. She said we stole her favorite name when we announced it was Adley. She's never said that name before. She also joked about how fat I had gotten. Kiram had enough and told her to grow up, but my mom defended Tasha, saying she's probably just a bit jealous about no longer being the youngest in the family anymore. I tried to talk and ask her what's wrong, but she got an attitude again and told me I made everything about my baby and myself. We were discussing my birthing plan on a family FaceTime and how I have to have a planned C-section to reduce the stress on my heart. I'm a bit nervous, but I've had surgery before. I was trying to get my dad to calm Kiram down and asked if he'd be in the waiting room. He was really happy and asked if he could bring his good friend. We all know she's his girlfriend, but they won't admit it. He thinks he's too old for that. She's been sweet and knitted some baby blankets, so we agreed to her visiting after the birth. I got a call from my mom and Tasha, who were really angry I hadn't invited them to the birth, or told them I had to have planned C-section. I told them Tasha had complained about me only speaking about the baby, and my mom told me not to be so flippant. Tasha was rolling her eyes when mom asked about the surgery, and I know she's 13, but something about it seemed so callous from her. My mom asked to be there, and I said she could be in the waiting room if she would be nice to Dad. Tasha started talking about how long it would take, but I informed her she was only invited to visit after Adley had been born. Now her and Mom are blowing up, saying I'm cruel for letting a random friend of Dad's visit, but not letting your little sister be there for her niece's birth. I'm sad, as I hope the pregnancy would bring my mom and I closer, but alas. Edit. I just remembered something else that happened. Tasha walked into our garden one afternoon without any notice to tell us, and saw us making out on the swing chair. Nothing scandalous, but my hormones have been all over the place. She made a comment like, "No wonder you're pregnant if that's all you do." She's also been perfectly nice to Kiram throughout the pregnancy. It's just me she has the attitude with. Edit 2. As some people can't seem to understand, I'll reiterate. I've tried connecting to Tasha. I've tried communicating and comforting her. I've tried getting her excited about being an auntie. She's made cruel comments about my weight. I used to have an ED. How I'm an attention seeker to get pregnant. She's literally slammed a door on me, causing me to hurt myself. She's been all over my husband, but ignoring me to my face. And she's made a comment about me not keeping my legs shut. This isn't about her being confused. She knows what childbirth and pregnancy is. She also banned our mom from visiting me when I was rushed to the hospital and had complained about me talking about the baby, so I didn't include her in the conversation about the birth. She's not angry because I'm trying to keep her away from the baby. She's angry because I'm pregnant, and she will no longer be the youngest girl. I'd like to add that the family dynamic is pretty good until I got pregnant. She was my mom's favorite, but Dad doesn't do favorites. OP is definitely not in the wrong. Tasha is entitled beyond belief, and it's obvious she got it from her mom, unfortunately. OP is going to have a C-section and deserves to have people who love and support her there. Tasha doesn't support OP, and she's been beyond rude with all the comments she makes. I think OP should never leave her alone with her child. Tasha has no right to try to be in the room with OP. Cryptographer Alone says, even if Tasha wasn't being a brat, you would never be wrong for not allowing a 13-year-old at your delivery. No 13-year-old is really ready to be your emotional support, and only the people who can do that for the mother belong at the delivery, even just the waiting room. Further, a 13-year-old is likely to need emotional support themselves, especially as this is a complicated pregnancy with a complicated delivery. Yes, the C-section may be the safest way to go, but it's not without its risks. A child shouldn't be present at all, period. Jardine says, maybe you should take a little break from your mom and sister for the next few months. Plan a get-together or two after the baby is born. But aside from that, don't talk to either of them. Whatever is going on with Tasha, she is needing a ton of emotional caretaking. Instead of doing that, your mom is trying to force you to do it so that she doesn't have to deal with it. You are very soon going to be a new and overwhelmed mom. The newborn stage is an absolute delight and the most exhausting thing you will ever experience. Please don't drag this drama into it. You will regret it. Update. I want to address the comments saying I'm a bad sister. I hate Tasha. I need to reassure and comfort her and show her sympathy. We had a normal sister relationship until I announced my baby was a girl. Then she got an attitude change, but only with me. I've been trying to reach out and ask her reasons for being so horrible to me, calling me names and saying things about my baby, but she ignores me and won't talk to me. So I don't know what else I'm expected to do. I appreciate being a 13-year-old girl is hard. I was one once, but I didn't act like this. It's not my place to have to parent Tasha when she has two parents, a mom that spoils her, and when I'm about to have my own baby. My pregnancy has been hard and risky, and there's still a chance my daughter could be born with my heart defect. This and all the stress caused by my mom and Tasha has meant I've not been able to enjoy my pregnancy. I had hoped it would make our mom want to be involved with me more, but unfortunately, Tasha has done everything she can to ensure my mom has not been involved or helpful. Whilst my husband is patient and polite, he doesn't like the way they are treating me, and he certainly doesn't like the pressure it has put on me. Tasha and Mom turned up unannounced at our house today, wanting another explanation as to why they couldn't be at the hospital. I again said as long as Mom was civil to Dad, she could be in the waiting room, but Tasha would have to visit after I've rested and made sure baby girl is okay. I said she had moaned for all of my pregnancy that it's all I ever talk about, so surely she had no reason to want to be there. She got angry and threw a mug at the wall, saying she wanted to be there as that's where everyone else would be, and she shouldn't have to be on her own and bored. I told her it was not a fun day out. I would be having major surgery, and people want to meet my daughter. She screamed, saying I'm an attention W for not giving birth the normal way, and demanded our mom that they go home. So they left as quickly as they had arrived. I don't know what my mom plans on doing, but yeah. Edit. Well, those of you who said not to tell anyone when I gave birth were right in a way. Woke up to cramps and blood-tinged water in our bed. So Kiram rushed me to the hospital, where my OB said I was in early labor, caused by all of the stress most likely. There was too much pressure on my heart, and it was causing the baby to be in distress, so they put me under and gave me an emergency C-section. I woke up this morning to my husband holding our beautiful daughter in his arms. She's perfect, with a healthy heart and a good pair of lungs. She's so beautiful, and I didn't know I could love something so much. She's such a good girl, and we've spent the morning together as a family. We will be inviting my dad to the hospital tomorrow. Thank you for the help and wishes, and sorry I couldn't respond to many, but it's been very chaotic. Update 2. Basically, after giving birth yesterday, I have to stay in for a week, as it was an emergency surgery. As we had rushed to the hospital, we didn't have all the things I will need, so Kiram went home to pack a bag of my things for me. He stopped off at my dad's, and apparently Tasha was with him. Kiram was polite, and Dad was asking lots of questions about Adley and I. He left the room to get the presents he and his girlfriend had gotten for us, and Kiram was left with Tasha. Apparently, she was all over him, but not asking any questions about myself or Adley. Kiram said she threw herself at him and tried to kiss him, but he swerved and got up abruptly, telling my dad that they needed to do something with Tasha, as she was out of control. He told me what happened as soon as he got back to the hospital. He's really worried that people, my mother, will make him out to be a bad person. I think my dad has cameras in his house, so I'm going to ask him if there are any in the hallway. Edit. Tasha has texted me. Safe to say she's not being taken advantage of. And no, my mother doesn't have any male friends in the house. Tasha sent me a text saying she was sorry for trying to kiss Kiram, but I've stolen everyone's attention, and apparently, even our mother was asking about me yesterday. She sometimes literally refers to our mother as her mother. She then said I had to make it all about me by having Adley early, and she wanted someone to pay attention to her, and felt like Kiram hadn't spent enough time with her recently. He's been kind to Tasha in the past. We've had her out at our house and taken her on trips, but he's obviously been busy making sure me and the baby have been okay during the pregnancy. Final update. So, 3 months after my last update, I'd recovered from surgery, and Kiram, Adley, and I had been able to go on a trip to the countryside to de-stress. When I get a random DM on Insta, and when I looked, she was following Tasha. Let's call her Lily. Well, Lily tells me that she needed to ask me something, because Tasha has been telling their friend group something worrying. I bet you don't know what I'm going to say. Tasha had been going around school saying that her and my husband were having an affair. I couldn't even respond, I was so ducking livid. Never mind how weird it is for her. It's so dangerous to be saying that, even among her friends. It puts my husband at such risk to be accused of awful things. So that was it. I'd had enough. I floored it to my mother's house and slammed in to find Tasha. She was sat there like nothing was happening and just smirked, making my blood boil. I'll admit I lost it a bit and screamed at her that she was unhinged and needed to be locked up. Our mom came in, asking what the hell was wrong with me. I grabbed both Tasha and my mother by their shirts and said she had 1 week to sort her crap out, cause we were going to the police for defamation. I just wanted to go home and snuggle my baby, but I stopped at my dad's and filled him in and told him what I'd told Mom and Tasha. He was completely floored. Lily was good. She said she didn't think what Tasha had been saying was real and thought I needed to know, and she said she told the others that Tasha was lying. I got some messages from my mom that night about me projecting my feelings about not being a good enough mother or wife onto Tasha. I don't breastfeed, and at that time was still on maternity leave because of the C-section, but I intended to not be off work too long. Would be sending her to daycare. Made comment on my weight, knowing how I was scared of struggling with my ED again, postpartum. Tasha had told her how she had no clue what I was on about. She really knew where to hit me, I won't lie. Kiram told me to turn my phone off and rest, so I did. And when I woke up, Adley was in the bath, and Kiram had ordered us food in. We consulted with our lawyer and made a statement to the police about all of the aggression and lies we'd suffered from Tasha and my mom. We were told they were both warned to stop, otherwise they would try to press charges. I've tried to avoid them since, although I've heard they are berating me and my parenting through others.